Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming to North Beach First Friday and the poetry reading here at Macchiarini Creative Design. We have a great lineup tonight, so I'm glad that you're all here to hear it. Thank you to Macchiarini Creative Design and to David Zeese for doing the sound every month, and to Colin for recording the entire series for the past 3 years for Alcatraz Radio. So if you want to see the series, go to Alcatraz Radio. And I'm going to just start out with a short poem by Bob Kaufman called Mingus. String-chewing bass players plucking rolled balls of sound from the jazz-scented night. Feeding hungry beat seekers finger-shaped heartbeats, driving ivory nails into their greedy eyes. Smoke crystals from the nostrils of released jazz demons crash from foggy yesterday to the light of imaginary night. And next, please welcome Kitten on the keys, who's going to play a song for us, and we're going to hear from her again later, too. Kitten on the keys.
Hello, thank you, Jessica. Hi, everybody. So this song was written by Scrumbly Calderwin of Coquettes fame. I know, legendary acid drag hippies, and they had a theater right up there. So this is written by Scrumbly. When you're a freak in the sideshow, you seldom think about love. All that you get is attention. You're what children live in fear of. So if you're feeling neglected, there's too much room in your bed. Go see the alligator woman. She'll show you her tail and her horny scales and make you happy that you're not dead. Life is short, life is sweet. No time for sorrow, no time for defeat. It's a game, so don't come unglued. Besides, there is someone who's worse off than you. One lucky day at the sideshow, when I was feeling forlorn, was it a vision I saw then? It looked like a unicorn. Do unicorns live on forever? And why do they give us a thrill? If they're only tamed by a virgin, and virgins tell lies, and unicorns are wise, are they all wild and lonely and wandering still? Life is short, life is sweet. No time for sorrow, no time for defeat. It's a game, so don't come unglued. Besides, there is someone who's worse off than you. Thank you.
And that was Kitten on the Key. And next, I would like to welcome Sir Patrick Dunnigan.
So I made a little chapbook for the reading for Neely Tchaikovsky, who several of you all know, and I cropped the photo off of the selected poems that just came out from Lithic, and I cropped out Kay Donahoe. But I think that she's really pretty. I just cropped it out because Neely in this looks like a Playgirl model. So I was just trying to draw attention. It helps to have her standing behind him, but it helps to just kind of focus on his face as a full Playgirl model, So the poems are for Neely, kind of in memoriam. but they're not all for Neely. So I just have that's a Hart Crane quote, and so it was I entered the broken world. Long live Neely, pulling up his suspenders, cocking his beret, strutting along ocean or forest trail, at ease among city streets, bardic ear pressed hard against rambling pavement to pick up on every tune, eagle-eyed catching each swing of ass, awestruck at simple beauty, alike not so simple, poet of streets he hardly knew, believing every street his own, stretching song at every turn, lover of dogs, gardens, men, and simple human genius, observing all, wanting all, desirous, hungry, as restless as the best of them, tireless poeta, bursting with energy, now joining Gregory, Hank, Jack, David, Lawrence, Bob, Diane, and all the rest of them gone petitioners, heralds on the steps of Parnassus, tunings of scores completed there, we're just listening to left behind measures of. This is the last class. It's kind of a Tom Gunn, because in the April 19th, 2004, Tom Gunn read to Robert Gluck's class at SF State, and then 6 days later on the 25th, he died. And Tom Gunn is kind of like a common spirit of us all, even though I think a lot of us think of him as an academic. But he was much looser than that. He loved Duncan, for instance, Robert Duncan. The last class. Supporting the local, teaching poet invites a matter of phrasing, guest poet to class. Perhaps a head or two brightens the afternoon, a reading generally followed by Q&A. With hazy, tepid approach, numbskulls screw every last possible stretch set of meanings awry. How is it done? It's not. It just happens, and then continues from time to time, until one day it's over. Radio. Radio ruined the bar for Feldman, for Spicer. It ruined beaches too for Feldman. Yet Spicer continued to enjoy his baseball on the radio out at Aquatic Park. Actually, it wasn't radio, it was rock and roll. Reading Notley. But it brought down the bar curtain on Poets and Bars when the jukebox came out. Yeah, it's a riff off of that. Reading Notley, which is Alice Notley. You know more than you, the endless knowledge possesses you. A circumstance wherein to dwell, describe it. The what of where you are, knowledge, that endless state of circumstance. More than expected, more than you realize, now you have. So I've got a pal named Jeffrey, and he kind of reminds me of Pound sometimes, if any of you guys ever read Pound on economics. So this is debt for Jeffrey. Debt, as with all economics, is make-believe. It comes and goes like air. Having a beer, watching the dogs wobbling privates, as with owner he strolls, taking in the sun's fine wintry air. Television, Jello for the eyes. The end of things, once more with forgetting. Spring, this one tumultuous. I give nothing other than stars to stars above, or in California. I give whatever charms needed noticing, backwards tracing. I give myself, forgiving is all we have, all we are. This is a little Hollywood cultural reference. Horses are just men extenders. Never clearer said than that. Ken totally telling the Kens how it is, how he came, know enough for a world to make his own of Barbies, a reality for Kens everywhere. This is a follow-up to radio. Radios. John Cage confronted radios and rock and roll racket by incorporating them into his work. I just hear my work in them, he said to Feldman on the radio. What you're unable to write will write for you, giving you allow yourself, remain open, let everything in. The tricky part in sorting things after, as you listen in, sing along. Art worth that much. Tears mounting by the hour, driven despair, the words refuse, how arrive at the work desired, rebuffed, anonymous forces, uncontrollable, fuck the loss, alien at core, one's senses rebelling, constant ache by the hours held, no retreat, no getting over it. And this is the last poem. That's recently Nick Whittington over at Bird and Beckett Books in Glen Park published a great chapbook of Kevin Opsedal, who's a wonderful Santa Cruz poet and pal of mine and several other folks up here. And so this is for Kevin. It's called Like Tunes Adorno. I came on heavy, insulting everybody or anybody who'd listen. It was that kind of day, and the place destined, itself a peacock in waiting. So wasting no time, I wasted all my time. Few listened, even fewer bothered remember. As the joint emptied out, I just kept at it. Somebody else would have hired out performers or circle jerks clandestine. Like a clown, I refused. So be it.
And next, the next poet has lived in North Beach for a long time. She just recently did a poetry reading / workshop up the Italian bookstore up the road. About it was for Valentine's Day, but the senses, chocolates and roses and everything. And she is originally from Queens, New York. Oh, you're from Brooklyn? I thought it was all right. Well, yeah. Sorry, I was in Brooklyn. It's a totally different thing. All right. She is originally from Brooklyn. Please welcome Jennifer Barone.
Oh, Jessica and I talked about a theme for this month being, Workers Month, International Workers Day. Worker bee. Yeah. Buzzing of fluorescent lights giving me migraines. Could also be the buzzing worker bee entering in and out of the hive mind, bringing the gathered nectar from their daily lives into these 4 white walls. Day after day, we stare into illuminated screens and push around pixels. But creativity is luscious and round. It's unexpected and never to be found inside a cubicle. Yet they want me to come inspired every day and craft a visual poem, even if they change the configuration into an open space. Poetry requires breathing air made by trees and sea alongside expansive vistas that expand the mind far and wide. It might require walking around naked in the living room, but not inside a room with windows that do not open when the brain requires oxygen to dream. Here the air is thin and straight, but innovative thoughts require a long walk and ample silence after a long hot shower where thoughts tend to coalesce and come most often. They spiral around, they ramble, they dance, they require a random hour to strike their brilliance. They don't respond to rigid schedules. They wake you up in the middle of the night to listen to the music of the spheres and not the humming drone of elevators and air shafts. But for now, I've heard the inner buzzing of divinity calling your name from a lineup of nameless numbers that sound like buzzing bees. And listening to the sound of bees brings the mind to a still point of delicious theta waves, not unlike the ecstatic state of absorption, where at last we might be free. So if you work too much like I do, you have to travel. So these are reasons to travel. Because a lemon flower blossoms on a lonely hill and wants me to smell it. Because a deep ache is asking me to change my eyes. Because there does not need to be a reason. Because your body standing behind the window will look so good at sunset. Because the sea misses me, it misses my body, it wants my body back. Because my eyes long for a certain shade of blue. And loneliness follows me everywhere and won't leave me alone because my grandfather's ghost still paces under my grandmother's balcony at night. And volcanic soil is aching to grow us back to life again. Because the statues need our prayers and the candles need lighting and miracles want to happen even if we don't believe in them. Because we need to fall in love again even if our hearts are broken. And so the angels don't get bored watching over us, so our dreams get a break from dreaming about somewhere else and dream about all the mundane worries back home. Because we don't have a home, we don't know where our home is except in each other, because tears need somewhere to fall and seeds need somewhere to be planted. Because making love would feel so good in a different bed near a different window looking at a different landscape. Because I want you in another language because I'm coming, but I don't know where I'm going. Because we're both lost and need to forget ourselves. Because pizza dough is being proofed and the only proof that we're alive is that we're hungry. Because you come a little closer when we're in unfamiliar territory. And the balcony that I stand on is waiting for you to serenade me. And if not you, then God in the form of songbirds themselves, because my soul needs at least one gelato every afternoon in a different flavor, because I'm made of at least 60% water, and the moon pulls me across the sea, and I'm a Sagittarius, and the stars said so, and because I said it's time, and because I'm restless, and I'm wild at heart, and I'm born to run, and because I dreamed of this, and this is what I'll remember. This is about a fresco in Pompeii. It's called The Dancers of Villa Cicero. Stop what you're doing. Let yourself rest for the day, sprawled out in the sun and the fresh air. Your eyes need rejuvenation. Your heart is longing to be filled, but doesn't know where to turn. Let the dancer fly off her fresco and spiral around you with roses in her hair and basket of fragrant petals. Let her dance into your mind's eye, into your dreams. Let her lift your spirits if they need lifting. Let her bless your workers' hands with ethereal warmth. Get carried away at night when your eyes close, leaving rooms and screens of light behind as darkness enters to repair you. Let your body rest on the earth as your soul flies to meet her, circling galaxy spirals like a wild angel lit by the sound of drums. Lose yourself in the still point that timelines spin around. Your heartbeat accelerates to signal that you're still here. You're alive and vital. Pay attention. Hear what your heart needs to feel light again. Let's see if I'll read just one more, Jessica. Okay, this was from a line of a poem from James Broughton called I Am Into Your Fire. Our bodies made of the volcano, our bodies made of fire. I am into your fire. You are into my fire. We feed off each other's ignition. Your fire hidden away, slowly churning, taking its time very intensely. My fire cracks and sparks and goes off in sporadic directions like shooting stars, fast and furious, much too much. What would happen if we came together? Your introspective gaze with my extroverted pulsations prodding you to move. The world might explode or be saved from imploding. Things may fall apart, burn to the ground, but new worlds would be created by the collision of our love. So press your lips to mine. I am so into your fire. I'll stay a while longer, staring down the burning heat of your eyes. I am so, so into your fire. Press your hand in my hand. Intertwine your body with my body until beads of sweat and unshed tears transform into steam, pushing up wildflowers across the flanks of the caldera in technicolor until we make each other and the world around us laugh and cry and sing. I am so, so, so into your fire.
Thank you, Jennifer Barone. Wahoo! Oh my God, the rug is blowing away underneath me. I'll be swept under the rug. It wouldn't be the first time that happened. Anyhow, I'm going to read a poem called The Beat Museum, and it's for David Meltzer. The Alphabet Museum, sorry, it's called the Alphabet Museum. See, I have been swept under the rug, okay. The Alphabet Museum for David Meltzer. That place you dig where one finds words, letters on letters, bold consonants, secret vowels, A-E-I-O. You swing from Brady Bunch to bebop, Delachinsky to Stravinsky, Lester No Eyes to hip-hop, Boom Boom Room to Judy Blume, Two-Way Mirror Clearer, and all the way back. Beat-a-bop, beat-a-bop. Beat-a-boop, beat-a-boop, beat-a-boop. Gave you a Valentine in your box next to mine. Alphabetical order, A, B, C, D, E, F, Lama Moop, Lama Moop. Every time I see you, it said, I want to give you a bath. Ula Sud, Ula Sud, Ula Suds. We made out in specs with glasses of letters on letters. The Alphabet Museum, that place you dig. I want a bath. Be the boop. I'm sure it did. And this is called a pistachio milkshake. Shh, shh. Fizz back into the sea. Roar, rare. A sailboat goes by. The small planes with the banner ads go by. There were more of them when I was a kid, and you can't buy postcards anymore, even here at the Jersey Shore. Mail art is no more. The tide comes in and goes further up the beach. The waves tease my toes, in and out, in and out. There are white jellyfish, kids dig sand crabs, swish, beseech the ocean, beseech, be still, be still. The Coast Guard just rescued a boat. The train inches along to the Scrapple and the Apple, past the Jersey Shore, Manasquan, Point Pleasant, Aberdeen, Avon by the Sea, Asbury Park. Greetings. We go into the concrete, Metuchen, Linden, Union City, Rahway, Newark. There is a body of water with a narrow beach. You can see a bridge. There's a family in the fog with a pink umbrella, shovel, and bucket. Penn Station. Oh, to describe the smell of the New York subway. I walk to the Carlton Arms. Room 2B is black and white. The design of the room is based on a photo. There's a mask in the background. The silver table with the cracked mirror is rickety. I cut my eye reaching for the light. When I get back, the stage lights were so bright I couldn't see the audience. It was so surreal. That's why they didn't put me in the fish room. Doug called my arm movements hippie. I thought they were more like Piaf or the Living Theater. George Wallace introduced me as the Queen of North Beach. The lights were so bright I couldn't see the audience. At the beach, the seagulls ignore me. I lost my sunglasses dancing to Chaka Khan with Deborah Pintinelli. Carl Watson's piece about an inability to feel pleasure didn't affect me. I hung with Sparrow, Jennifer Blowdryer, Patricia the dancer who got locked in a basement in Mexico City, and Steve Wisnia, my editor at High Times. I thought Michael Carter had fallen on the sidewalk, but it turned out to be a pile of garbage. He won't relinquish the manuscripts. I switched around in 2A, switched to Pinot Grigio and Groovy Blues. They turned the upstairs into a shishi cocktail lounge with its own private entrance. No more live music up there on Sundays. No more jazz and jams. Tom Clark was there. Handsome Dick Manitoba didn't remember me, but the Sabrett hot dog stand guy did. There used to be John Farris hobbling down 3rd Street banging his cane with poems in his shirt pocket, coming out of Bullet Space, the pace of Alphabet City, him talking about being Malcolm X's bodyguard, and Sun Ra's roommate, and how Chester Himes was his favorite writer. What an asshole you were, falling over the railing, landing a story down on the tile stairs. You told the doctor I pushed you. Did you fucking think you were the king of Mayberry, like you asked Mike Tyson in a poem? The next morning, I head to the hood in the pouring rain, just like last August 22nd, the day that Jack Hirschman died. The sky was crying. The sky cries today. I was headed to a reading at Lucky. Danny Schuck called to shoot me the news. We toasted Jack, had a moment of silence, read some poems, sang the Fug song. A woman stands up and says, I really appreciate the lyrics. Potatoes on Sunday. What? Oh, no potatoes. Al Mayer is my editor. Yeah, no potatoes on Sunday. No potatoes on Monday. No potatoes on Tuesday. No potatoes on Wednesday. No potatoes on Thursday. No potatoes on Friday. No potatoes on Saturday. Sunday. Potatoes. I slurp on a pistachio milkshake from Ray's newsstand. I had trouble getting the straw, and I walked through puddles and I can't see my hair. I walked through puddles. It's Monday morning. No one is around. David Henderson's phone isn't working. He called Hirschman Jack LaRouge. He's been gone a year. We spelt and pronounce words backwards together. He called me Sul Adjacich. If you like haiku, move to Ukiah. The sky is crying. It's warm rain. I head to Penn Station, back to the shore. Sublime Jersey, beefsteak, tomatoes, white corn on the cob. She said my reading was corporeal, but she is a dancer. I'm back at the beach, got some small shells and smooth sand. On a seagull's beak, there is a Dorito bag. I watch the waves breaking, watch the sand swirl in them as they wash up. The water ricochets. Next, please welcome Kevin Dublin.
I feel grateful. It's gonna be 3 poems, but I'm just gonna read them like back to back. So I have a poem for Neely, and it's specifically, I guess, like related to like poems that we talked about, or just poems that I love of his that I was like writing. Conversations. It's all about conversations, right? Into an origin story is exit 1. I tell this story now because when the time comes, I must be ready to kill or die, because you must be ready to die or kill. Can you measure your life in units of murder? I remember humidity's rub against the porch screen, how armpits at 13 sweat on a summer midnight. Across the street, a cousin's shadow staggers like a samba, arm around the belly, as if he was his own dance partner. Hum of street lamp light, innocent until it falls across blood. I heard, no, I knew, he knew not to test a straight shooter with a pistol over a table of face-up cars and the last remnants of corn liquor. I remember driving a white Honda Civic with student driver written on the back, waiting to turn at a red stoplight onto 301 from Bookadary Road. I'm 15. Coach Spraggins beside me reminded me to Keep your hands on the wheel now. Keep your eyes on the road. As a cloud steps away from the sun, shimmers worn across the veins of a honeybee, crawling my left hand as a spotlight flashes to green. She stings me before I even shake my elbow to shoo her away. I pain. I almost cuss. Forget how soft survival is, how warm. I watch the fall of her sad and aware corpse. I remember that all bees share an ancestor with the carnivorous wasp, the way most origin stories share a common source. Once everything was one and we were in darkness. We were the darkness, we were deep. There is a belief that the universe knows this is true. The first images of black holes are all-encompassing darkness pulling in a base ring of light. Even planets absorbed and reduced to heavy black singularity, like a blade tip, no better a bullet. There is a scientific theory which catches up to other origin stories, how the universe began from a single point, and they call it the Big Bang. You, me, all of our stories, exit wounds spilling the desire to be one again. A second law of quantum complexity. Sunlight, sounding like sun-like, splashes across morning mirror. Each glance a dead end in the alley of finding myself, a red thread pulled through darkness, the unseen washed out of view, desert monsoon of longing. They no longer say I'm on a spectrum. They say it's a forest, mystic sunrise, bright butterfly wing colored, a pilgrim seeking a pilgrimage and another eye to open. They say heat death will be the destroyer of the universe. All things stop. Nearly 200 years of believing all the stars, gas, dust will die out into stellar corpses until the radiation, the energy of everything dries up like tears. It's the riddle of darkness. That black holes transform beyond equilibrium, keep compressing toward singularity making in the shadows of apocalypses. An ice cube dropped into room temperature water is a vow. A change. I know a change is gonna come. Oh yes, waters will cool and then warm again. The storm of a woman that is within you, a womb which carries its own rules, but the siren of blackness is built different. You have to splice and slice space-time to understand the complexity. If you wait long enough, everything will happen, including how it all began. Like an elegy for Neely Tchaikovsky. I met Neely within the folded shadow of Coit Tower, atop a bed of flowers and other poets with ecstatic shouts of Ginsberg. I met Neely really with the question that begins an elegy. What did it mean to bring again, to breathe, to carry a pocket full of wolves huddled in a circle? I may have met Neely in Herod's palace in Jerusalem, or at least a desire for Neely between its massive white marble, freshly cut from the rock, and its later rebel remnants. Yet, there at the center of silver and gold, still twinkling in the eyes of a rock pigeon, I met the seeds of Neely in a jar, like fireflies on the brink of lighting. The seeds of Neely and his wishes to be a dead poet, with Charlie Parker playing in my hand and another page flipped towards Revelations. A generation cataloged and encompassed in poetry. Nearly the drunken boat as witness, as food carrier for good poets, yet still marveled by a sunset. Did I meet Neely outside of Vesuvio's on Columbus Avenue in North Beach with poets Scott Bird, Aggie Falk, Dana F. Smith after reading poems in honor of Jack Hirschman at City Lights Books. Before talking poetry, politics, national and international over coffee, while Neely thumbed over the edges of a new translation of the Bible. It is new. It is familiar. I met Neely in a gust of alien wind, watching strands of his hair break free from beneath beret like kites from hatchling spiders, catching spring current and sun gleam from Bernal Hill toward the ocean, searching for a part of the coast wildly at peace, where the grass rustles near cliff sides and wave churn and gull call. When there wasn't enough time, I met Neely. Between the strike of a match and match ignition, a hint of smoke, a tea mug nearly empty, last lukewarm swill, the unfurling of a story quilt. Over what does it mean to be a poet? I met Neely in every overcast sky, I meet Neely in every overcast sky. I meet Neely in every overcast sky above a San Francisco canyon. The truth is rarely pure and never simple. I met Neely and I meet Neely like a date palm sprouting after 2,000-year-old seeds are dug up in the Judean desert. Neely like Yakamochi in waking from a dream, groping for nothing. Neely tenderly prying open a box of butterflies to count them. When I first met Neely, it was in the mirror, which is how he met me. Now, Neely whispers the truth as a dear friend. It is only the living who make up words like living, like death, like the end. Thank you.
Wow. Beautiful poem from Neely, as was Patrick. I'm still working on mine, but anyhow. We're going to close out the evening with, once again, Kitten on the keys. Yeah!
It was really nice to hear everybody read tonight. Congrats, everybody. That was great. Okay, thanks for dancing along. So this next song is about a little dog, and this song was a great song written by the band Polka Side, if anybody remembers them from back in the day. Dog, a frisky little chap, and if you pet and play with him, he'll sit up in your lap. Hey, let's see, I gotta start again, I'm sorry. I love a little wiener dog, a frisky little chap, and if you pet and play with him, he'll sit up in my lap. It's funny how a wiener dog can be both short and long. It gets longer as I pet him, as I sing the song. Oh, I love my wiener dog, yes, I really do. Come play with my wiener dog. He'll sit up in bed for you. Come play with my wiener dog. He's my spunky little friend. If you pet and play with him, he'll love you right in the end. Oh, playing with my wiener dog is so much fun, you see. And oh, the things that God can play, you should come and see. Hey, we could both play doctor, and you could be the vet. Hey, doctor, hold my wiener dog, see if his nose is wet. Oh, I love my wiener dog. Yes, I really do. Come play with my wiener dog. He'll stand up and beg for, yes, he really begs for come. Play with my wiener dog. He's my spunky little friend. If you pet and play with him, he'll love you indeed. cold. I'm not gonna holler 'cause I still got $1. When I get low, I get high. My man walked out now, you know that ain't right. Better watch out if I see him tonight. I said, when I get low, I get high. I said, all the bad luck in this town, you know it has found me. Nobody knows the trouble that's all around me. There was a ruckus last night, I ended up in jail. I don't gotta worry 'cause my gal's got my bail. When I get low, I get high. Man walked out, no that ain't right. Better watch out if I see him tonight. I said when I get low, I get high. All the bad luck in this town, it has found me. Nobody knows trouble that's all around me. Ruckus last night, ended up in jail. Don't gotta worry, gal's got my bail. When I get low, I get high. I said when I get low, I get high. It's so fun, everybody dancing. I love it.
Bravo! Okay, absolutely.
Let's do one more. Let's see. Okay. I know it's fun to play, right? I have a little story to tell you. It's kind of about Easter. I know Easter's past, but I don't go to church on Sunday. I don't get on my knees to pray. I don't memorize the books of the Bible. I got my own special way. I know that Jesus loves me, maybe just a little bit more. I get on my knees every Sunday at Zarelda Lee's candy store. I got to be a chocolate Jesus, make me feel so good inside. Got to be a chocolate Jesus to keep me satisfied. Got to be a chocolate Jesus, good enough for me. Got to be a chocolate Jesus, keep me satisfied. Yay! Thank you, everybody. My hands are actually getting cold. Isn't that crazy? Thank you so much. Thank you, Jessica.
And once again, that was Getting on the Keys. Woo!
Dancing.
And thank you very much, everyone, for coming tonight. Have a great night, everyone. Come up to Coit Tower for the Ann Waldman reading, and check out the galleries. A lot of them, everything's still open. So walk around and dig North Beach First Friday.